The third edition of Ehingbeti Blue Economy Hub 2025 opened in grand style, gathering stakeholders, policymakers, and maritime professionals from across Nigeria and beyond. With the theme, The Renaissance of Ehingbeti in Community Engagement and Inclusivity. The event showcased Lagos' growing role as the heartbeat of Nigeria Blue Economy Vision. In his opening remarks, the chairman, General Tajuddin Olarewaju, retired, highlighted the power of collaboration between government and community, describing Ehingbeti as a bridge between innovation and sustainable growth. Welcoming participants, convener and president of the Ocean Ambassador Foundation, Honorable Olaitan Williams, reaffirmed our commitment to empowering students and young maritime leaders, inspiring them to explore the vast opportunity within the maritime and blue economy sector.
I wish to appreciate the promoters of this event for creatively engaging the contemporary challenges of ocean and maritime management, that's the blue economy, with historical experience and renaissance of Ehingbeti. The contemporary concept of blue economy is all about sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods and job creation, while preserving the health of ocean ecosystem. To say a little about Ehingbeti era, it was a time of bliss, development and economic prosperity in Lagos, creating the popular saying that Ehingbeti. I believe that Nigeria is very rich. The wealth is there. But the coastal population, where our seaports and the oceans are located, have not been fully integrated together with the wealth created from the maritime services. And that is what I believe is so important that we should take into account. This country is probably an undriven, but yet the local population who are inhabitants in the coastal areas are still affected by poverty due to policy indifference and lack of integration of local skills into the blue economic system. Gentlemen, poverty is a product of this innovation. If you watch carefully, go along the port area, go to the urban days and so on, the coastal areas. And what you now see is that government has taken over these areas, and unless we try to integrate and recreate Ehingbeti, because I believe it is possible for us to recreate Ehingbeti, because we still have some of the coastlands that are available for that purpose. And I think that's a message I believe we need to carry out from there. In closing, let me just say that Nigeria maritime activities can be saved and can attain economic sovereignty if there is a policy change, such as enhancing all the potentials of a truly global blue economy. The question that has always been raised about the Nigerian economy is based on external factors' influence on extractive exploitation of our national resources. Because the question will always come, where does our wealth go and how does it impact on our maritime services? The answer lies between our national behavior and foreign impact on our economy and how powerful interests have changed our Nigerian economy from the outside. It is often a story of a hidden wealth. It's unfortunate that we have not been able to transfer wealth to the level of our people who are very poor. And I think that is another message we need to do to allow our people to participate and to be integrated with the maritime services. Because if we consider Singapore, India, and Washington in DC, the United States of America, on how they manage their blue economy, we can learn a lot of lessons and also gain a lot of benefits on maritime economy for our coastal population inclusivity. It is clear that inclusivity really works. Well, if you have a good policy, you have motivation for the people, you have skill acquisition, training in small and medium enterprises within the maritime administration. That's why I believe that the integration is so important. The right policy is required, and if we can put this one in place, I believe that then we are not going to join those who have really made good strides in the maritime economy.
I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Almighty God for granting us the opportunity to gather here today, despite the challenges that we may have threatened to derail our efforts. Today is a special day because Ehingbeti had everything the blue economy is projecting now. When we had Ehingbeti, it was a harbor that had everything. We had hospitality, we had trade, we had everything that you can talk of. We had a better livelihood even, where the white cap chiefs had control of the communities. But now it's being eroded for so many reasons. As we gather here today, we do so with a deep sense of purpose and commitment to the development of our coastal communities. The theme of this year's hall, the Renaissance of Ehingbeti, community engagement and inclusivity, underscores the importance of engaging our coastal communities in the policy creation and implementation process over the past 2 editions. We have drawn valuable lessons from our history and heritage, and we have made significant strides in promoting the blue economy concept. The production of a well-received audiovisual documentary that was shown earlier, and a book on the historical significance of Ehingbeti within the contemporary blue economy are testaments of Ocean Ambassadors Foundation's commitment to this cause. As we move forward, we are delighted to have our erudite professor of political science share his thoughts on a critical topic that has far-reaching implications for our coastal communities. The keynote paper, Unpacking the Potentials of Inland Waterways in the Blue Economy, promises to be a thought-provoking and insightful exploration of the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. We believe that the discussions and deliberations that will ensue today during the discourse will provide valuable insights and recommendations that will inform policy decisions and promote inclusive development. At Ocean Ambassadors Foundation, we firmly believe that the development of our coastal communities is a collective responsibility that requires the active participation of all stakeholders. We cannot afford to leave the government alone in this endeavor. We cannot afford to rely on the government alone. All hands must be on deck to develop the wealth of our coastal communities and ensure that the benefits of the blue economy are equitably distributed. I have no doubt that today, together we can achieve great things and create a brighter future for ourselves and for generations to come. Ehingbeti was the first harbor in Eko, now Lagos State. And I'm sure you will learn so many things today, and by the time you go back, you'll have another outlook to the blue economy. Because what happened in Ehingbeti must not happen in all coastal communities. We must strive to make sure that our coastal communities have inclusivity They have the national traditional intelligence that you don't have to have a BSc before you know. When you go to coastal communities, you'll be shocked at what you will learn. Ocean Ambassadors Foundation, sometime this year in June, just to prove that coastal inclusivity is germane, we partnered with BOI, and we have the Fisherwomen's Cooperative now in Afiyekwe with young ladies to become international divers, where you now engage them. Some of them, when they tell you, oh, you didn't see us, we did Snapchat. Every morning they go to feed. In the evening, they go to feed and they do videos and send to, because we have a WhatsApp group. And that is inclusivity, and that is the value chain of the blue economy. We need to engage intentionally the coastal communities. We cannot afford to neglect the coastal communities, because that is the value chain of the blue economy. When you talk of blue economy, it's the coastal inclusivity. That is where they get the data from. It is not from the urban. But unfortunately, they are being intentionally disenfranchised.
The royal father of the day, Oba Olufolarin Olukayode, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, praised the Ocean Ambassadors Foundations for its vision and consistency, urging continued partnership that will sustain the blue economic drive. Contributing to the discourse, Engineer Sarah Brima, General Manager of NIWA Lagos, and the keynote speaker, Professor Alade Jinodu, both emphasized the urgent need for deeper investment and innovation across Nigerian waterways, calling for collective effort from government, investors, and communities alike to build a thriving and inclusive maritime future.
Organizers of this remarkable event, the Ocean Ambassadors Foundation, for their continued commitment to maritime advocacy, youth empowerment, and sustainable community development through the annual seminar, Renaissance of Ehingbeti in the Lagos Blue Economy. This noble initiative exemplifies visionary leadership and purposeful engagement by focusing on themes that advance inclusivity, environmental balance, and socio-economic progress. The Foundation has created a strong platform for policy discourse and stakeholders' collaboration in Nigeria's growing blue economy sector. The theme of this year's edition, Community Engagement and Inclusivity in the Blue Economy, could not be more timely. The blue economy holds immense potential to diversify our national wealth, create jobs, and foster sustainable livelihoods, particularly for our coastal communities. It is gratifying to see renewed efforts directed towards ensuring that local participation and gender inclusiveness remain at the heart of this maritime renaissance. I also wish to commend the Foundation's laudable advocacy for the inclusion of maritime studies in schools and its sustained commitment to empowering the girl child. These efforts mirror the enduring truth that education and equity are the twin pillars of meaningful progress. As a kingdom blessed with rich maritime heritage and strategic location, Ilara Kingdom stands ready to contribute its quota to the collective vision of a prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable blue economy that will position Lagos as a model of maritime excellence across Africa. On behalf of the good people of Ilara Kingdom, I congratulate the organizers, partners, and participants of this landmark seminar. May your deliberations today yield practical outcomes that will further strengthen the maritime future of our dear state and nation.
The potentials of inland waterways. And I think we cannot talk about blue economy without actually talking about inland waterways. Because inland waterways form majority of what they did directly with the communities that are surrounded by water. And there are a lot of potentials in the inland waterways. And that is why the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a special ministry. Before, there was nothing like Marine and Blue Economy. What we have was the Federal Ministry of Transportation. So for it to have, for its uniqueness and for it to be seriously looked into, that is why the Marine and Blue Economy Ministry was created. And National Inland Waterways falls inside the Marine and Blue Economy. And there's a lot of water in Nigeria as a whole. We have more than 10,000 kilometers of water. We have 28 littoral states. These states are connected by water. We have 5 West African countries that you can actually go by inland waterways. That's why this Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy was created, so that we can actually know, okay, what communities are surrounded by water, what communities are lacking from enjoying this water that they have, what can federal government do, or what can be done with private partnership to make our waterways viable. And that is where we are today. Series of meetings have been done, series of talks have been done, series of seminars. But you know what? We have to look at and say we will invest. It's a very capital intensive thing to do. If we are moving cargoes by water, we can move tons and tons by water without all these incidents on the road. Look at Apapa congestion. Look at Ikorodu congested. How can we do all this? It is by investing on water. We cannot just be talking about we have inland water, Lagos is surrounded by water. People must learn to invest in it, and it is capital intensive. NIWA cannot do it alone. All of us have to join hands together and make it known to the government that we have to invest. Whether people are seeing it, they will feel it. And feeling it is what we need. If you want to move from Lagos, CMS to Marina now, you are to do something. 30 minutes, you are already there. We have moved people, cargoes by water. In Lagos, we are growing and will continue to grow. The Lagos State government has invested a lot on the inland waterways. Other people are following suit, but for now, I know that people are more aware. You can see the Omiego buses. We can see Texas connections, Tarzan. They are all moving people by water. And they are all regulated by National Waterways Authority. We have dredged the River Niger. The River Benue is on the pipeline to be dredged. Why are we dredging them? It's to move people, it's to make the inland waterways viable. So with this, if it is viable and it is working, all the community, the coastal communities will enjoy. There will be the first impact. Look at in Lagos now. When you go to Badagry, let's say that Badagry port comes into being, who will enjoy it most? It is the community around there. So that is the inclusiveness we are talking about here today. So thank you so much for bringing inland waterways to limelight. We will continue to work to make Nigeria good.
Lagos people, wake up. They are destroying you. Wake up. Look, who owns you? Who owns, what are they doing there? We just wake up one morning, we see their sand filling. They put estate there. Look at Eco Atlantic. Who owns Eco Atlantic? Who are benefiting from it? The blue economy, who will benefit? Is it the ordinary Lagosian? Is it the ordinary Nigerian? Every day they tell us the GDP is going up and the Naira value has improved. But are we developing the human beings that we should be developing? The money that we say we have, how many people control it? Less than 1/4 of the population of Nigeria. But you cannot go to Isaleko and flush your toilet there. You go there, there's no water. The roads are not there. Schools are not there. Hospitals are not there. So what is the point? So I think the message that I'm putting across simply is that all these things cannot work well the way we expect they work. If business continues we must wake up. We have to wake up. Because it is made clear that the public interest must be the purpose of government. And yet it is clear, to change Lagos, to change local government, there must be a referendum. And I told you, I live in Dauphin State. When he became Obalede, or whatever they call it, we just woke up and there was no referendum at all. And we let that pass. Lagos must be the only state in the federation that I know, and I've studied this. We have local government councils, new ones that are created without referendum. And today, of course, we know local government council is not, there's no local government council. They are controlled by thugs who make daily returns to their godfathers. That's why roads are not passing, flooding everywhere, every day. I mean, it was the Renaissance, for example, who stood up. The company said, for the coastal community, he paid about $100 million to them, to the state government. Nobody knew until it was said. A group of Lagosians went to court. So those things are happening. The money is meant for the people in the area. They did not know that money had changed hands. Nothing. So I think we need some kind of a rebirth. Renaissance, yes. If we are to build that renewal, we must first ask the proper question. Is the environment in this country politically possible for us to transform ourselves as a nation? It is not possible. We have to do something about that first. And that is to ensure that our mandate is important. Elections are coming on in about 2 years now. Nigerians, must make sure, and don't let them divide us by saying this is Igbo, that is Yoruba, that is... No, we are all Nigerians, and it matters a lot to us that the government we establish must know. I stood on the platform like the former governor of Lagos when I raised the issue. Look what is happening between Ilubiri and Oroshiki. Some people just came to brought people.
As Goodwill messages added a rich layer of inspiration, Chief Mrs. Jane Chiaso Anishera San commended the Ehingbeti initiative and urged the inclusion of students and young minds in maritime growth conversation. Also, Mrs. Rollins McFoy, Women Nigeria President, reaffirmed Ehingbeti's legacy as the cradle of Nigeria's Blue Economy Ministry, urging women, youth, and coastal communities to take active leadership in shaping the nation's maritime future.
I just want to appreciate and applaud my sister, Honorable Lighton Williams, for this honorable initiative. When she started about 3 years ago, I thought, but today I am more knowledgeable. Hence, I actually applaud her to ensure that the students are partakers of this great conference. I'm more knowledgeable, and I'm also Ehingbeti compliant. Indeed, we have Omeeko buses, which are ferries. I am proposing today that we should have Ehingbeti buses. Sarah Brahma has challenged us to invest in our waters. We all know what Blue Economy stands for. We are here for Ehingbeti Maritime Hub, Ehingbeti Blue Economy Hub. So let's all be investors of the Ehingbeti buses, Ehingbeti buses, road buses, I don't know how we're going to call it. Omiekowa, so we'll have Ehingbeti. And Ehingbeti will be for our communities. And I will talk to Engineer Lighton Williams that we should start it, and I'll be so excited to invest in it as well. And I'm sure you all will join in ensuring that you have a vessel named after you, all to support Ehingbeti Maritime Hub. So thank you all very much. I'm sure we're going to have a great summit today. We're going to listen to the panelists. We're going to talk to us much more about how we can tap into these huge projects, how we can tap into it, because there are so many opportunities and it's actually wealth creation. I once again want to applaud and congratulate all the team of the Ocean Ambassadors. They are ambassadors indeed, and I wish you all well.
At Ethiopian Maritime Training Institute. A few days ago, I've been there, and I found out, if all of us know, Ethiopia has nothing. They've been living on their airline, just airline. But today, they have a maritime training institute that is challenging the world. And they have turned out 6,000 sponsored by the government and gave them jobs, and both within Ethiopia and outside. And among them are women. This is Ethiopia that we're all shouting about. Today, Ghana is taking almost all of our students and all that. So it's a challenge to all of us. And like we say, challenges start from grassroots. And grassroots mobilization, that is why we are here. So let us be sensitized. At your small corner, do what you need to do. Don't wait for the government. Do what you need to do. Do what you might not be noticed, but you have affected lives. I like to affect lives. I like to do what I should have done at the right time. And if all of us do what we can do at the right time, then there will hardly be anybody left. And then the government will not have to legislate on themselves. Then they will look at themselves and be challenged and say that, what's going on there? Nobody is crying to us. Nobody is asking us for this. Nobody is doing this up. It's like we have got it wrong. But the situation where we join our shoulders to their will, even when we know their political positions and all that, and many of them are not learned in what we are talking about. That's where the problem is. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I want to say congratulations to Ocean Ambassadors, and I also want to use this opportunity to salute Chief Mrs. Jim Anisheru, sir. I want to salute Engineer Ibrahim Obieko, that's what we call her. I want to salute our own Mrs. Funla Folomsho. These are people that have, women that have been fighting for this cause. Chief Mrs. Carol Ferry, welcome. I want to also salute my sister that fought like a wounded lion in MPA. God bless you all. Like we say, we're going to say Nigeria will survive.
From Ehingbeti to the world, the wave of the blue economy continues to rise, powered by innovation, inclusion, and the unstoppable energy of Nigeria's maritime women.